Iran, meanwhile, reopening its airspace after the U.S. already evacuating some of its personnel from the Qatar airbase as tensions escalate. Meanwhile, President Trump says he's been informed that plans for executions of protesters in Iran have stopped.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or executions. So I've been told that on good authority.
Michael Allen served in the National Security Council under President George W. Bush, joins us now. So, Michael, your thoughts about where we're at. Do you feel as though the protests are being tamped down? Because last time I checked, they were in every single province in Iran.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, I believe that they are still broad-based. I still think it's the most challenging moment for the regime since its inception. But there are reports that it's becoming less widespread, maybe fewer people, and understandably so. The regime's back is against the wall. This is an existential moment for them, and they are massacring their own people. So this, I think, really puts the question to the president. Is he going to try, with the leverage that he's accumulated, threaten additional strikes on Iran, or are we just going to absolutely go for it?
So here's the thing, Michael. This is the president's options. 2009, President Obama just ignored it. Nothing happened when they rose up again after that. And now, as these Iranians step up, they have the courage, but they don't have the guns. What is the right thing for the U.S. to do? Because on the backdrop, you have the Gulf states, many allies of ours in that region saying, Mr. President, don't get militarily involved.
Yeah, I think the best thing that we can do at this point, especially since we have American credibility on the line, is figure out a way for airstrikes to try and help the protesters. And that very likely means hitting the instruments of regime repression. So think of the people, if you remember the last protests, that were on the back of motorcycles with baseball bats trying to beat protesters. Think of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the zealots who protect the regime, the intelligence services. If we could strike and degrade some of these people, I think you may take their ability to crack down on their own people down a few notches, but you would also give a boost to the protesters who would feel like the United States is behind us. It's never going to get better than this moment right now, and so let's redouble our efforts.
Wow. Here's the Iranian foreign minister yesterday in a very intense interview with Bret Baier. Listen.
There is no any hanging today or tomorrow or whatever. That's
Friday?
You know, I can tell you, I'm confident about that. There is no plan for hanging at all. This is another piece of misinformation campaign that they have started to provoke President Trump and to drag him into this this question, and which could have disastrous consequences.
So it looks like there's some give there. They heard the president when he said, you better not hang people. So they're not for now. It was a 26-year-old that they were focusing on. But Starlink for free has been put up there for people with the courage to go sign on to that dish, number one. And number two, it looks like the Kurds have penetrated some of the border areas with Iran, which has got Turkey upset. Your thoughts on both these developments?
Well, I do think that things are the ethnic groups in Iran, which will eventually help seed the destruction of the regime, are now thinking to themselves, this is the moment to begin to rise up. This is the moment we ought to organize better. So I do think that's why the Kurds are trying to seize some of that territory up there. But you're right, there are other things the United States could do short of military action. And I think it's to try and knock out the regime's digital blackout so that these protesters might coordinate with each other. We need Starlink to be able to do that. They can jam it. But I think if we have enough terminals there, and maybe this is something the CIA and Mossad are already doing, and if they aren't, they ought to be, is trying to increase the means for coordination among the protesters, and in turn for them to be able to send out to the outside world the footage of massacres.
Michael, thanks so much. We have so much to talk about, but you covered a lot. Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.